Hey, how's it going? Good evening. You're listening to The Brave Traveler. I'm your host, IR, and I have a couple of interesting things to talk about tonight. Um, it's been an interesting week. Um, I don't want to just briefly mention them and then come back, but I guess maybe I should. Neil Gaiman, one of my favorite authors growing up, he wrote Sandman. He's done a ton of really great books. He's an amazing writer. I even saw his masterclass. Good stuff. I even met him at a comic book convention. Sort of. We interacted. He's in trouble. Like, Marilyn Manson was in trouble for some heinous sexual assault allegations. Well, Neil Gaiman is now part of that club. It's very interesting. I don't know if I should just get right into it or briefly go over some smaller stuff. Fine, I think I'll go over some of the smaller stuff. I'll just introduce what I'm going to talk about. So there's the Neil Gaiman assault allegations, and one of my favorite directors in the world, ever since Stanley Kubrick died, David Lynch. He passed away, I think, just a few days ago. Apparently, 5 months ago, it was announced that he had emphysema. That thing that smokers get. And David Lynch has been smoking since always, apparently. So, he passed away. And I'll give you my thoughts on that and on him shortly. Here's another thing. Nintendo Switch 2 console has been announced this week. The thing is going to cost like $400 or $500, and it should be out sometime in the summer, like June. And they're going to make an event out of it starting in April. They're going to be taking it to different cities, like New York, LA, whatever, to sort of let people interact with it. It's kind of weird. PlayStation and Xbox did not do that. Like, we're gonna fuck with the people and we're just gonna let them preview it at a live event. Maybe they did. I don't know. But they didn't make it. They didn't announce that shit in their commercial for the system. Come check it out months before it comes. It's released to the public. Test it out. I look forward to April so I can find out what I really want to know about the Nintendo Switch, which is, does it have streaming capabilities like PlayStation and Xbox does? Because, I mean, I can see from the commercial that the handheld screen is bigger, and therefore the controllers are bigger as well. Which, I mean, I don't know. Yay. I mean, that's probably, that's a good thing. they are a bit cumbersome that they're so tiny, you know. And if you're an adult who likes the game, you know what I'm talking about. They are really small. So that's a good thing. The screen is also going to have a higher resolution instead of I didn't even know that it was 720p. But well, just found out cuz the new one Switch 2 is going to be 1080p. Wow. So that's not nothing, but I mean, honestly, the thing just feels like Nintendo Switch Pro. It's I slightly get it why it's called a Switch 2 cuz you know, why not? PlayStation does the same thing with PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple. You always know exactly what you're going to get. The next system, I haven't even seen it, and I'm already know it's going to be called PlayStation 6. Xbox is, I think they went after Nintendo's model, right? Because when they released Nintendo, the next thing was Super Nintendo. It wasn't called Nintendo 2. Super Nintendo. That sounds great. It looked different. The games were different. I think that Nintendo games felt a little like shit, but but they were good enough since there wasn't anything else available. When Super Nintendo came out and you play Super Mario World, it's amazing. The soundtrack, the images, the gameplay. It's perfect game. And then the next thing that came out was Nintendo 64. Because I guess the 64-bit games, I don't know. But the controllers were now fucking weird. You had more options, so that was a good thing. And they didn't feel bad. They even had a little mini joystick. I like that. It was great for Mario Kart. Mario 64 was great. The Zelda games were really great. So each new system had a different name. What came after Nintendo 64? I think it was GameCube. And then Wii. And then they fucked it up with the whole like Wii U. I didn't have a GameCube, a Wii, or a Wii U. I would never have a Wii U. That name alone sounds so fucking stupid. Wii U. It sounds like that. The noise that chick from Kung Pao would make. So no, I can't take it seriously. Then it was Switch. Great. It's innovative. You know, it's something new. So why not? I don't like two systems in a row from Nintendo with the same fucking name. It usually doesn't inspire confidence. But, I mean, I guess you can say that the Wii U did come out with some good games, right? Breath of the Wild. I don't know. Who cares? They're Nintendo. They can do whatever they want. They don't share. So, you know, they'll always be relevant. They've fully ingrained Mario into millennials. boomers, probably. And now Gen Zers, and apparently the new generation of young people, they're called Generation Alpha. I find that so hilarious. My kid is from Generation Alpha. That's awesome. It's like Generation Boss. Fuck yeah. What's the next generation? I looked it up. The next generation is not that lucky. They're called Generation Beta. I would fucking say, oh man, I would not want to be referred to as a beta. So, who the fuck comes up with these names? Who says, this is what we're gonna call them? Probably, I mean, I kind of know who, but, you know, bad guys. Bad guys in charge that are just straight up directing everyone towards whatever's satanic or depraved, immoral, evil, and of course they're going to have put downs. You guys are the best, you guys are pathetic. Ah, man, I feel this is a good reason, a good excuse not to have children for the next, I don't know how many years it'll take to not be Generation Beta. Oh, my cats, they love being a part of the show. They're like, help us. Help. Oh, it knows. It's psychic. My cat is psychic. Can't have any secrets from that cat. And again, it's scratching at the friggin' screen. Oh my god, I swear it's practically gonna start knocking. That's Flower. My cat Flower is the crazy one. My cat Tree is the normal one. I didn't come up with these names, but, you know, I respect them. I hate Flower. She's just got so much energy, don't know what to do with her. And then she's got the Freddy Krueger claw, so I don't really like coming close to her. If it wasn't for those fucking claws, I know she can't help herself, but a few weeks ago, I'm pretty positive that she dug her fucking dirty claws into my skin on accident or whatever. Of course it's an accident. It's on purpose, that fucking cat. And I had a horrible rash that was really just lingering on there, wouldn't go away. So now I just don't touch them. I hate those claws. I love cats. I hate the claws. I think it was around January 6th or something, or maybe like 2 weekends ago, I can't remember. Jeff Baina, Aubrey Plaza's husband of I don't know how many years. I think they've been together for like 10 years. I don't know how long they've been married. Anyways, he's a movie director. They've worked together on several films. They're young. All of a sudden it was reported to us, the people that don't actually know what's going on, that Jeff Baina has died. He's passed away. He's no longer with us. And if you go research articles on this or videos on YouTube, they all pretty much say the same fucking thing. Eventually, if you stick around, they sneak in, he died by suicide. But they won't tell you what the fuck that means, since there's literally thousands of ways to kill yourself. It was real strange how I found out. The AI in Google told me because I couldn't find one friggin' article that would, or video that would go beyond the bullshit, which is just showing you a bunch of pictures of what he used to look like and how happy he is with his girlfriend, wife, whatever. And reading, and some person reading a statement supposedly by Aubrey Plaza. Thank you, everyone, for your kindness. Please respect our privacy. I'm supposed to believe that she wrote that. I don't think so. I'm sure that one of her agents, helpers, whoever the fuck. If I was sincerely going through that, I would not be giving a fuck about people. I would probably say to somebody around me, could you just tell them to stay away? Well, anyway, so I found out that he hung himself. And that just reminded me of so many people in the entertainment business that have hung themselves. So many other ways to kill yourself, and this is the way they choose. Really strange. Wouldn't you, I don't know, every once in a while see a person getting really fucking drunk, which is what actual people, when they're really upset and want to fucking die, do? They get really drunk and then they go drive and get into an accident. No, because they're good, responsible people that just happen to want to die. Okay. Then there's drugs. Listen, nobody should kill themselves. Your life has purpose. You can do something good. So I'm not trying to advocate for suicide. That's my point. I just don't believe that all these fucking famous celebrities are mentally linked and they all think the same. David Carradine, Chester Bennington, the singer of Linkin Park, Chris Cornell, the lead singer of Audioslave, and can't fucking remember right now, Soundgarden. Robin Williams, aka Uncle Pappy. And now Jeff Baena, suicide by hanging. It just, it's fishy, it's suspicious. So I decided to look up, what does the hanged man mean? And the results I got is that in the tarot, it means a punishment. It had a list of different meanings. It says that one of them is it's a punishment. Another one is it's the end of something and the beginning of something new. So lately I've been watching Flattest Fit Earther videos on YouTube. And he's got a very convincing argument. Some of them sound outlandish and might turn you off to giving this possibility a chance. But if you watch enough of them, you'll come across some evidence that is kind of hard to argue against. So his videos have a lot of merit. The guy's not perfect, but he's onto something. So, I don't know, it just doesn't fucking make any fucking sense. Aubrey Plaza is a good-looking woman, so I don't know, maybe she's a horrible piece of shit in real life. Maybe, I don't know. And he's successful in his own right. I mean, he's directing fucking movies. That's an awesome job. So it just doesn't seem realistic at all. Unless Aubrey Plaza really is a piece of shit. I don't know. I hope not. But, you know, might be a possibility. You know the Hollywood gang. The Masons. And the Baphomet Club. And they're pretty much all connected. All these clubs. The higher ups, I mean. Like, they might be separate to low level people that have no idea. But the higher up you go, you just realize that it's the same fucking group separated into smaller groups so that nobody knows too much of what's actually going on. I've heard stories from Angelina Jolie. They do favors for people until they have enough on them, like Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, right? He would have his freak party so he could record them doing something that could ruin them if it got out. So I have no idea if Jeff Baena is really dead. I have no idea if he was sacrificed. The only excuse of a reason that was given as to why he might have done it is that the LGBTQ whatever was giving him a lot of shit for not including them more in his films or whatever fucking bullshit. Okay, that can be annoying, I guess, and maybe Netflix, who is a stupid bitch whore, that's what Netflix is, probably said the same thing, like, hey, we heard you're not doing this enough. Yeah, you know all those contracts for stuff that we were going to pay you lots of money for? Well, we're taking it back. Yeah, so later, bigot. And yeah, I guess that would piss him off, but I mean, come the fuck on. You could always say, like, well, maybe he was on drugs, and you know how stupid people get on drugs. Mix it up with stress, and there you go. Got your recipe for disaster. Yeah, it's possible. Sure. I don't think that hanging is a peaceful way to die. It's not quick. I mean, I know they said that David Carradine from Kill Bill, actually Bill himself, was choking himself while jerking off, which maybe is just adding insult to death. I have no idea. Wasn't there. I mean, he may have been killed, and then people that killed him just sort of set him up to, like, you know, give him a final insult. I've never been sick like that I can't enjoy things normally, that I would have to ever asphyxiate myself like that to get off. Yeah, that's bullshit. And everybody bought it. I did. All right. Is it true? Is it a lie? Well, I don't know. But I know they can lie about shit like that. Fine. Maybe he did die that way. What about Chris Cornell? Chester Bennington? Robin Williams? Were they all trying to sexually get off as well? No? Okay. So apparently Robin Williams, because he used to do cocaine, nothing was joyful for him. Okay. And so he needed to kill himself. Right? I think that if nothing is joyful for you, you go find something joyful. Whether that's going on vacation, which maybe he did. Maybe he wanted people not to bother him, so he just faked his own death. Maybe he was told to fake his own death because, Robin Williams was definitely in the club, the hand gesture club. What about Chris and Chester? I have no idea. It's all up in the air. I wasn't there. I didn't look at any of the evidence. And I don't mean the stuff that the officials tell us, because that's not evidence. That's secondhand information. First-hand information means I discovered it. I saw it on my own. But then again, if there is the club, and there is, with that much power and influence, they could just leave shit to look a certain way without it actually being that way. And then the people that are giving you the information, like, I saw it, that's it, it's the way it is. It could be one of their friends just fucking lying. You can't go confirm it yourself. Just surprised how many fucking people believe it. I think it's laziness, or at least that's one of the ingredients. The other is people don't want to believe that they're being lied to on this level, this much. Just don't want to believe that. It's a horrible negative thing, and I get it. I haven't looked at Jeff's final tweets or posts or whatever. I haven't looked at his movies. I know one of them was like about witches, and Aubrey Plaza shows up naked with a bunch of other females. So they like that satanic shit. And Aubrey was recently in a Disney Marvel show that had nothing at all to do with Marvel. And it was about witches. Satanic shit. Which is very similar to that failed Disney Star Wars show. I didn't see it whatsoever, so I couldn't tell you what the fuck it's about. But I saw clips of it from a bunch of other YouTubers who reviewed it. It just looked like witches doing satanic shit. under the guise of a Star Wars title. Had nothing to do with Star Wars. Right? They even got rid of the Force, and can't remember what they started calling it, but or the One, some bullshit like that. I don't give a fuck. Stupid shit. Ah, boy. You know, let me change the topic now, because there's no way to know for sure when it comes to Jeff Baina's death. All we know is that we don't know. And we can't go snooping around because we have to respect their privacy. It's like I get it, but at the same time, well. The other day I was showing my daughter the 1920s black and white movie, silent movie, called Metropolis. I think it's like 3 hours long. And I couldn't help but notice that it has some stuff that I think whoever the fuck actually made Full Metal Alchemist must have seen Metropolis. Because in the movie there's a woman that dies. That's part of the story. You don't actually get to see it. And there's an alchemist who sacrifices one of his hands to bring her back. But he brings her back in a robot body, a lot like Alphonse. And the alchemist that sacrificed his hand still has a hand. It just looks like it's a prosthetic, maybe. I don't know. He's wearing a glove over it, similar to the older, shorter brother. It's a pretty amazing movie because they have some special effects in there that I'm not sure how they made, except to say that they must have spent a lot of money. And I can't help notice that in some of the scenes, the actors are talking a lot. And the some dialogue will eventually pop up, and it'll be something really short, and you know that's not everything. Or worse, you'll see them talking a lot and they won't give you any dialogue whatsoever to read. You just kind of have to go along with what you think they're probably saying. I don't think that Metropolis was actually a silent movie. Not at all. Especially if you know some of the history of the movie and how it had disappeared. Large chunks of the movie had disappeared, and then they fucking found it in some South American country just randomly, which is like fucking bullshit. It's an awesome movie. I recommend everyone watch it at least once. There's like a civilization happening underground, and it's huge. It's gigantic. You can see that the ceiling of the underground world is our ground. It's an awesome movie, and I love that I get to share that with my daughter, who grows so fast. I don't see it, but I mark it on the wall. And in 2 months, she grew an inch. It's amazing. and I've been teaching her how to ride a bicycle without the training wheels. And we trained for I don't know how many days, just sort of getting used to the bicycle. And then the other day at the park, I had this great idea of sort of like holding her for a few steps while she gets into the bike riding motion, and then letting her go. And she didn't fall. She rode her bicycle perfectly. I was so proud. I couldn't ride a bicycle. I can't remember, but I think I may have been about 10 years old, I think. And one of the older neighbor girls, I have no idea how old she was. She might have been 19 or 20, I have no idea. But she helped me out. She helped me ride a bike. My parents were too busy. My mother, she was taking care of her daughters, and my dad was always working or too tired. So, yeah, I was really happy to do that for her, because when she's not here and she's at her mother's, they kind of parent her the same way I was parented, which is not much. Oh well, I'm just happy. Plus, this last week, I drew this amazing illustration of Chainsaw Man. The only thing I did different was I sort of measured it, kind of. I'm sure for like serious illustrators, this is going to come as like, well, duh. But I've always been, I guess, lazy about drawing. But that's because I didn't really know this technique. And if I did know it, I ignored it. I was like, nah, I don't need that shit. But instead of just drawing it, just throwing myself into the drawing as that's what I'm used to doing. And I don't really plan it out. I'll just be looking at what I'm looking at and drawing it. I started to draw circles or ovals wherever on the page there was going to be something. And doing it that way just improved my drawing by like 100%. You can see that up on my DeviantArt page. IR the Brave Traveler, or just sort of find a link on Facebook page or any other place. Probably on here. I'm sure I have it on the page here as well. A link to my DeviantArt page or profile, whatever. That was a ton of fun, but I'm not done with it. I mean, I'm finished with the pencils. I'm not sure if I want to trace it with ink. I might. Yeah, I should, because that's professional. So I might want to do that. But I definitely want to color it. And I already know what colored pencils look like. You know, I mean the results. I think I want to try watercolor. Except that on the cover that I was using as reference, the colors they use for blood is like bright slime green. And I don't think I have that as a watercolor. That looks more like a marker or maybe actual acrylic paint. I don't know. I do think that would make it look awesome, though. And I have another project in mind. There was this drawing that I started months ago. Jim Lee's X-Men cover. The X-Men #1 from the 90s. And I did half of it. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but Jim Lee's X-Men #1 cover was a wraparound cover, and I did the front cover, but I want to do the whole thing, the back cover as well. I think that using this new technique, that shouldn't be a problem at all, and I'm sure it'll be fun. I beat a video game that I've been playing now for years. I beat it, and that's Bloodborne. Bloodborne was the first From Software game I ever played. I didn't even know at the time when I played it that they're the same company that made all the Dark Souls games. Constantly hearing of the Dark Souls games, people saying how it's the hardest game they've ever played. It's impossible. It's just a ton of hype, intimidating the fuck out of me, making me not ever want to play Dark Souls. Seeing a few clips and just thinking like, that animation looks like shit. Not realizing that it's more than that. I love the Dark Souls games now. I mean, I've beaten Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 and 2, and now Bloodborne. Which means that I only have 3 games left of the From Software series. Elden Ring, Sekiro, and Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, cake. It's in the bag, honestly. Sekiro, I'm a little confused, but I'll get through it. I played it a little bit, like a week or so ago, and I got stuck because it's not easy. Elden Ring, that's the special case. Like, I really want to pass that game, and I think that's the next one that I'm going to try for. Because I actually did play it. When it first came out, I bought it immediately. And I played it non-stop, and I thought it was awesome. I didn't follow any walkthroughs. I just wanted to discover everything on my own. And so I got pretty far. I got a ton of stuff. I did a lot until I got stuck and didn't know where the fuck to go. I figured that I need to watch a walkthrough and just sort of copy them, or eventually wait for them to get to where I'm at so I can recognize something. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to watch a walkthrough step by step and just copy. It shouldn't be that bad or hard because I'm already pretty leveled up. So should be fine. I mean, it'll take time, but it won't take as much time as it would just randomly trying to figure it out, because I do believe, from having played this many of the From Software games, that they are a fucking cheat. They're not a cheat, but they're niche gaming. Great story. The gameplay is a lot of fun, but you will not pass this game without looking up some stuff. You have to. It will fuck with you. You will not get to pass this game as easily as you have other games because of that one requirement, which is that you look up stuff. You're going to have to go online and look up, what do I do now, or what is this for? And I don't necessarily like playing that way, but the story and the gameplay is what it'll grab you. It'll trap you. It'll hook you in. I had never heard of the term farming before Dark Souls. You're constantly trying to level up so you can get better, be stronger, so that the game stops feeling like it's on nightmare mode hard the entire time. Because that's how it starts. And the more you level up, the closer you get to easy mode. And that feels a lot better. But I don't think they would have been as successful if you had that option for easy mode, or if it started as easy mode. Yeah. Well, you know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I think that earning it, sort of spending time with a game while it's impossibly hard, chipping away at it until it finally feels bearable, it makes you feel like a badass. It makes you feel like you earned it because you kinda did. You invested time. Also, the stories are actually captivating. I'm not going to go over the stories because they're also kind of, they feel, sometimes, not all of them, like, some of them are pretty straightforward, but even those, like Dark Souls 1 was pretty straightforward, so was Demon Souls, but they still have these elements that make you question, like, why? Why is everything a dream in Bloodborne? When they say dream, do they mean the astral plane? Because that's what it seems like. What's up with that ending where all of a sudden the doll is hugging some kind of a squid? I have no idea. Demon Souls, you think it's the old king who's the final boss, but really that's just kind of his astral projection or his robot, his avatar. I have no friggin' clue. And then you get to see that he was just a lump of shit that you stabbed to death. It's like a joke boss. Boy, oh yeah, okay, Dark Souls, the first one, it's some king, but you get to fuck him up with a friend, so that's fun. Demon Souls 2, it looks like some demonic tree branch. That's the villain at the end. The villain at the end of Bloodborne was the guy in the wheelchair, unless you found all the umbilical cords, and then it's the moon presence. And I'm so close to platinuming Bloodborne. I am literally 2 trophies away from platinuming Bloodborne. I need to fight that one chick in a wedding suit, in a wedding dress, from the Chalice Dungeons. And then I'll get that trophy. And then I need to get all the hunter's weapons, which I think I already have. But apparently not. So I need to look it up and see what the fuck I'm missing, because I think I have everything. I haven't looked at the guns very well. I don't know. I need to get a list. I need to see a list so I can see what I'm missing. I haven't been able to do too much online because of all days, finally my computer is choosing that it doesn't want to charge battery anymore, which is very upsetting because my writing is in there. I don't have a backup save of my latest writings other than in the computer. That's my fault. It's not like it just started failing. So, as I'm recording this, I'm trying to charge it somewhere else, since it wasn't charging where I had it. Even though the light was on, the light that goes on when it's charging. Yada, 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 ndaza. I can't remember how he says it. The Volume 4 of JoJo's Bizarre. That one's a lot of fun. I like reading that manga comic like right before bed. It's not like incredible literature, but it's a nice, happy adult comic with great stories. The art is not a masterpiece, but I wouldn't expect it to be, especially if that thing is like, I don't know, like 1,000 issues long, because I think it goes all the way up to volume 9. I'm on volume 4, and can't wait to see what happens. The anime is okay. I think it fits the manga style, but the pacing is just so fucking quick. It's like, come on, man. That's what I really love about the manga, that I can take my time with it. It's not running, Speaking of anime, I've started watching some new animes on Netflix. One is called MASH? I don't know. It's a parody of Harry Potter. Not like Naruto is a copy of Harry Potter, without a doubt, but a direct copy, while also being a parody. It's good. It's about a dumb guy who doesn't know magic while everybody else does. Apparently it's illegal not to be a magical person. Like, they can be killed if they don't know magic. So his father, who's not his biological father, trained him, because he found him as a baby, to be super strong. So the guy exercises a lot, doesn't really do anything else, which is why he's basically dumb. but he is so strong that he's like Goku level strong or Vegeta without actually having any other powers like they do. It's so funny. I'm really enjoying that, and I had the opportunity to watch that with my daughter and my parents, and we're all really enjoying that one. There's another one called Sakamoto Days. The first episode is pretty good. The second episode, what happened in the second one? Can't even remember. It's enjoyable. The only thing that's different for me is that I can't keep watching it if I want to. So it's coming out one episode a week. Okay. That's pretty much what I've been having to go through with the new Dragon Ball series, Daima. One episode's been coming out every week. And it's supposed to be 20, at least 20 episodes is what I've consistently heard. But now I'm sort of seeing that they're wording it in a way that says that it could be more than 20 episodes. Or maybe they just want people to be so excited that there might be more than 20, but there's just going to be 20 episodes. Kind of like, I think, what happened with Nintendo Switch. I had heard that a third-party company that Nintendo was working with had stupidly released information about the Nintendo Switch 2 to the public before Nintendo actually, revealed it themselves. And that usually Nintendo likes to, hold all secrets, not be very informative until they fucking feel like it, which, that makes sense. And that's actually what forced the reveal. I saw the big reveal on the day that Nintendo put out the commercial for Nintendo Switch 2, and I read the comments, and they were right. Some of the comments said, this couldn't have been less inspired. It's true. If you've seen the Nintendo Switch 2 trailer, it does feel like they don't give a shit. Like, they already know that the customers that care already know. And I don't know, it just felt like they weren't trying whatsoever. Like, if you go back and you look at the first commercial for the Nintendo Switch, you're going to notice a giant fucking difference. This one just like, here it is. There you go. Which I think is fucking stupid because it doesn't inspire me to feel that they care at all. Like, why should I care about your new shit? Here's our new shit. Here you go. Just fucking buy it. It's like, really? I don't know that I will. Or at least not right away. I'm pretty happy with the Switch. Like I said, here's the only fucking thing that's going to get me to buy that Switch 2. And yeah, it's if it has streaming capabilities. Can I stream the game to Twitch? Because if I can't, I don't think I feel like fucking paying $400 to just have, bigger hand controllers, a bigger screen. I really don't ever use the handheld. I mainly just have it hooked up to the TV, and that's it. So I don't have any need whatsoever. The only thing that would change my mind on that is if it has Twitch streaming capabilities. If I can share, not just take a fucking picture, because yay, but yeah, that's not enough for me. That's the only thing. Anything else, no. What else are they going to say? Like, the new Zelda is going to come out for Switch 2, and the new Mario is going to come out for... Okay. Is it only going to come out for Switch 2? I doubt it. I'm pretty sure that it'll come out, whatever Switch 2 exclusive, it'll probably also be available for the Switch 1. Switch 2 is just a fucking Switch Pro. I didn't play the Wii or the Wii U enough at all for me to know if the Wii U was basically just a Wii Pro. Hopefully it has that. If I can stream, then I'll definitely get it. But then I'll definitely be selling the Switch. I'm not gonna have two. That's gonna be that would be so stupid. I have no need for two Nintendos. Oh, by the way, this is interesting. So, I've never read the Lord of the Rings books. I pretty much just, like most people, I just saw the movies, the Peter Jackson movies. And, like most people, I wondered what Sauron actually looks like. That's the guy that got his fingers chopped off and the ring fell off of his severed fingers. And then you don't fucking see him ever again in the movie, He's just now a light shaping out an eye. Like, that's him. And the ring gets destroyed, gets thrown into that volcano or whatever. And the eye seems to suffer, and it turns off, and yay, that's it. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Did Sauron die because the ring got destroyed? No. I wonder if Tolkien died, like, pretty soon after publishing those books. Because it sort of feels like there's supposed to be more. I mean, in the movie, I don't know about the books. Again, I want to read them. I'm planning on reading them one day. Maybe I'll read them with my daughter, because currently I'm reading Harry Potter with her. And I'm not sure what to read after the first book. If we'll just dive right into the second book, or if we'll take a detour with The Hobbit. Not sure. It wouldn't be bad, but I don't know. I wanna really get her into reading. Every day we read a little bit. Okay, so in the movie, Elijah Wood's Frodo. He never healed from the spider venom. He just sort of stuck it out so he could finish writing everything down. I think that's so interesting and funny how Bilbo wrote The Hobbit and Frodo wrote The Lord of the Rings. And they're in the same family. I can't remember what they are to each other. But it's Bilbo Baggins and Frodo Baggins. Bagginses, you know. How are they related? I mean, I don't think Bilbo is his dad because he just wants to be alone. So I don't think he impregnated another hobbit. So I guess you just have to believe that one of Bilbo's siblings or cousins, I guess that's their connection. Obviously it doesn't tell you, because you might say, oh, what does it fucking matter? I mean, it doesn't, but why not? The story tells you a whole bunch of things. I'd like to know everything. These stories, they seem important. They don't just seem like a regular story. Especially when you look at other, historical books that are very important to a lot of people, like the Quran, which has King Solomon, who's also in the Bible. But unlike in the Bible, in the Quran, King Solomon has a special ring that he wears to control demons. And demons helped build the temple of Jerusalem. So isn't that fucking crazy? So there might be something to these rings. Here's another thing I learned, but I was always curious because of the movies. You never get to see Sauron. And like I said, they don't acknowledge this. The entire fucking movie, they just sort of act like, you see that eye? Yeah, that's him. Okay. He became an eye after he got some of his fingers cut off? So the name itself, Sauron, it's something to do with reptiles. It might mean that he's a reptilian. Maybe. Why not? Maybe he is a demon himself. In the book, from what I've seen from other YouTubers that have read it, it says that, he was normal at one point. And then when he became evil, and I don't know how, one day I'll know. But here's the important part. It says that when he became evil, he got sort of infected with necrosis. Necro. With some sort of a death. If you've ever seen a dead body, and hopefully you haven't, but if you have, in pictures I mean, not in real life, you know that the skin, when it goes through necrosis, it turns black, like the color black. And so Sauron is described after the necrosis as being, pitch black. And I'm wondering if that, more than likely, very possibly, I think so, had something to do with why Peter Jackson didn't show what Sauron actually looks like, because he would be black. And therefore, you know how people are fucking idiots. They're going to say, why is the villain black? And he's not African black. He is dead black. Which obviously is a fucking difference. But I guess they didn't want to take the time to explain that shit. It would take away from the movie just to sort of baby people that like to whine and complain about everything. And I guess they made the decision to just not include that. And I get it. But yeah, if you, like me, were curious about what Sauron looked like, he is covered, his skin is, it has gone through necrosis, and he is described in the book as being black. But that name, Sauron, man, it means something. It's like dinosaur, reptilian. So I think there's something in his name as well to give away some information as to what he is or looks like. Okay, and now to what I want to say. Let me go for the bad before I go for the sad. Well, I mean, anyways. Neil Gaiman. I don't know how I'm not going to be able to hold in the laugh. Neil Gaiman is in his 60s, or maybe he is 60, I don't know. The guy's old. But he's a millionaire. He is very, very, very successful. And I saw him at a comic convention a while back, because I had read the Sandman series, all 75 and plus issues, and I remember I first read those in high school, and I felt different after reading them. I just felt like I had discovered something, and I felt that I had. I felt like very few people knew about these comic books, and I bought the originals. So I had the first appearance of Dream and Death. That's Sandman number 1, Sandman number 8. Still remember. And I went to the convention, and I went into one of those conference rooms with him, and we were waiting for it to start, and he looks at a woman with a ton of cleavage. Her tits were hanging out pretty much, and she had a tattoo of death from Sandman right on her left tit. And Neil Gaiman was wearing those fucking sunglasses indoors because he's that cool. And he just pointed at her and said, "Come here," with his finger. Like, point, turns his hand, and then, starts pulling it back and forth real fast. And he gives her an autograph. So I kind of think I want to do the same thing, except I'm not a chick with cleavage. I'm just a fucking fan. And I pull out my Sandman number 1, and I ask him, I mouth it out because he's far and I don't want to scream or anything. "Neil, sign this for me." He looks in my direction. I mean, I can't see his fucking eyes because of those glasses. But he thinks about it for a moment, and then he just says, he mouths, "No." Oh, crushes me. And ever since then, I'm just like, fuck that guy. I mean, I gave, what the fuck is that book called of his? Does it have him? Oh, yeah, American Gods, of course. I enjoyed American Gods. It was a ton of fun reading that thing. I hated the part where his girlfriend dies with a dick in her mouth. Like, that's completely unnecessary. But the entire thing it's good. And that was his intro story into becoming a book author, a successful one. I read Coraline. I read Anansi Boys, and I thought that one was great. It was really enjoyable. So even though I personally didn't like him, I couldn't ignore the fact that he is a great writer. Although, I also kind of go back and forth, and I kind of think that, it's because he's British, a fucking idiot with a British accent would probably still make money selling books in America, of course. Americans, they think, is that an accent? Oh, am I? You're a genius. I think that probably started ever since the British invasion, right? Like, Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, genius. Black Sabbath. Oh, yay. The Beatles, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I mean, shit. So, of course, we hear a British accent and we're just automatically like, oh, you're intelligent, aren't you? You know things. If you make a song, a book, a movie, it's just guaranteed gold. Anansi Boys was the last book that I read by Neil Gaiman. I don't know how many books he's published since then. I think he made one called Norse Gods, another one called Graveyard something. I have no idea. I'm sure he's published a ton of them. I have no interest in Good Omens. Definitely not the show. I tried it. The show seems like just shit. Maybe the book is good, because I like Terry Pratchett. Well, I like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. 12 Monkeys. I guess the Holy Grail. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I think that's it. But still, even if that's it, that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, even if Neil Gaiman is a sexual, deviant, bastard, son of a bitch who has poor taste in wives. Well, I take that back. I think his first wife was probably great. But have you seen what the fuck Amanda Palmer looks like? And I remind you, that's his ex-wife. I remember when they got together. Because even that was news. I saw this lady, and there were tons of pictures of her just naked all the time. Like, why does that attract you, Neil? What the fuck is wrong with you? I thought you were normal. But he knocked her up, and they had a child. They were married. They have a son. Amanda Palmer wants custody. Let me guess, full custody, right? Not shared custody. Apparently, the psychos had an open marriage and encouraged each other to fuck their fans. Wow. I have no respect for Neil Gaiman anymore. Amanda Palmer, you just look at her stupid eyebrows. Please look it up. Look at what her eyebrows look like. Or YouTube a video. You can't take this bitch serious with that fucking getup. I understand. She's a musical artist. You don't understand music. Music means you can be stupid and cool at the same time. Oh, I see. That's how music works. Oh boy. I haven't listened to her music, but I mean, just look at her. And I know that, who's this other one? I know that Phoebe Ray, the lead singer, I can't remember her name, but she loves doing the same thing. She'll dress up like an idiot. She'll make herself look horrible, and this is called brave. You're being brave, making yourself look ugly and horrible. That's so courageous. You fucking hero, you. But the lead singer of Phoebe Ray is a talent. I mean, I think she's mentally fucked up, and she's no doubt a Satanist, whether she realizes it or not. Although I'm pretty sure she realizes it. I'm pretty sure she's into witchcraft shit as well. So, most Satanists are atheists. Like, no, I'm not a Satanist because I don't believe in that stuff. Oh, okay. Amanda Palmer, I haven't heard her music. I'm not eager to either. Neither Neil or Amanda clearly know anything about parasites. When I heard that they're into this kind of fucking lifestyle, I knew that the allegations had one strong foot in reality, because that is the type of shit that people that are full of parasites do. I don't know if Neil Gaiman's always been fucked up. It's one thing to have a fantasy long ago that's messed up, but then you hold on to it. Why? I don't know. I think that getting involved with her might have fucked him up. I have no idea if he was already fucked up. I think his first wife would have to make a statement. This shit reminds me of the allegations towards Marilyn Manson, which feel like they were pretty much just thrown out of the court. Except they were dismissed. I think the accusations were dismissed because they were mostly just based on hearsay. He said, she said, whatever. Whereas Neil Gaiman's allegations, there's a lot of evidence that's sort of suggesting that he's done this before. He's done this a lot before. He's given a lot of women a lot of money to shut the fuck up. What the fuck does an NDA do? What good is a non-disclosure agreement good for? I mean, Harvey Weinstein went down on that one chick who Marilyn Manson used to date or was engaged to. What the fuck was her name? Doesn't matter. Rose McGowan. Yeah. So he did that shit, which is rape. It is sexual assault. And then paid her a bunch of money. And she's like, okay. She took the money, ran with it, got herself some horrible plastic surgery done to her face, and signed the NDA, but then decided not to respect it. She decided not to respect it. I don't know why. I don't know if a bunch of other women started coming forward or if it was just a fucking tactic like, I'm going to publish my book called Brave. Look, I shaved off my hair and I look fucking weird now. So brave. Maybe she started that movement. Like, I am not afraid to be stupid looking. Okay. I don't know, man. With the whole Freemasons constantly puppeting people and trying to fuck with stability in society, it's possible it's all just a bullshit gag. They tapped her. It's like, hey, you're gonna help us with the next line of bullshit. I don't know. So with Neil Gaiman, he's definitely done some fucked up stuff to be paying off that many women and getting that many NDAs signed. But it seems like it's all happening around the time of being with Amanda Palmer. So, I don't know. I don't know how fucked up Neil already was. Clearly, he likes women that aren't feminine. So, there's some stuff missing. Clearly, there's some stuff missing. I think Mr. Gaiman is probably more than likely bisexual. I thought that long ago when I saw pictures of what his new wife looked like. I thought he was a bit of a piece of shit that he got out of a marriage he had been in for a long time and had a child with his previous marriage in order to pursue a relationship with a what's politically correct nowadays. Just look at Amanda Palmer and think of the first thing that pops into your head. I guarantee it's not going to be anything good. I mean, she's got a ton of naked pictures of herself online because she's a bit of a scumbag. It didn't make sense. It didn't click at all for me. This is like the type of person you think that Ozzy Osbourne would have married instead of Sharon. But no. Who marries her? Neil does. And they have a son, and there's allegations that the 60-year-old Neil Gaiman, who's a millionaire, was coming on to an 18-year-old woman he met on the first day. I can't remember her name. You should read that article by Lisa Shapiro. It's in the New Yorker, and the article is called There Is No Safe Word. What a fucked up title. I read some of it. I think I probably read most of it. So this one teenage girl, she didn't have anywhere to go. Neil Gaiman and Amanda Palmer were living in New Zealand and they needed a nanny. Amanda Palmer met this teenage woman and asked her to babysit. Palmer even asked Gaiman, "Don't try to sleep with her." And I guess in his Britishy voice, he's like, "I won't. I promise. Um, I guess the new nanny on her first day, she's, you know, collecting her bearings, getting to know the house, the kid, these weirdos. And Neil said, "If you want to shower, go ahead and use my outdoor jacuzzi." The 18-year-old was stupid enough to think that, yeah, a shower and a jacuzzi. That makes sense. Okay, fine. She's not trying to get clean. She's just trying to relax. Whatever. She goes in there, and then shortly thereafter, Neil Gaiman joins her naked. Because that's normal. 60-year-olds with 18-year-olds. As long as they're rich, I've met some teenage whores that will, sleep with a guy just so they can let them crash at their place for free. That is not new. So that's not new at all. It's kind of hard to say everything is Neil's fault. Neil might be a piece of shit now. I don't think he was always a piece of shit. I think that his stuff is really well done, especially when he was a nobody. Sandman was great. That's probably always going to be his best. But his novel writing is also really great. So he made a ton of money, became rich. Got involved with shit people, and he became a shit person. Fucking around is not illegal, although it should be. It's definitely not good for your mental health, as his actions can prove that. Anyways, so he gets in the bathtub naked with the 18-year-old. The 18-year-old doesn't see a problem with this because it's convenient. Like, okay, this guy's going to pay me. I'm going to live in his fucking big giant house for free. I like his wife because I'm a fan of that shit. This is what being a fan of that shit opens the doors to. And the guy says to her, "Hey, why don't you sit on my lap?" And the New Zealand 18-year-old thinks that's fine and complies. I understand that a lot of people are going to say, well, he was in a position of power. Yes. And she's just a fucking 18-year-old idiot with nowhere else to go. I understand. You can't really measure an 18-year-old's mental power to a 60-year-old's mental power, but you can see the difference. Disgusting old man says, "Get in my jacuzzi." Jumps in naked with you and says, "Sit on my lap." 18-year-old says, "Okay, okay." And it's not until fucking years later that it's, clicks in her brain, hey, that wasn't okay. Anyways, then he moves on to finger her. Um, According to the article, he asks, "May I put it in your bum?" And she says, "No," in a New Zealand accent I can't do. I just know that no sounds like no. That's a New Zealand Australian no. It's not no. It's not non. It's not no. It's no. I can't do it. It sounds cute first couple of times you hear it, and then it sounds weird. Like, what fucking bodily cavities are you making that sound from? Whatever. Um okay. Can I fuck you in the ass? No. Can I put my penis between your breastises? No. Yeah, right. If that female is like, yeah, go ahead, finger away. A dick between breasts, whatever. Fine. She said no, according to the article. Then he says, "Can I come in your face?" Oh man. I don't know. I guess you're supposed to warn a person. Yes. Yes, you should. But it just sounds so fucking dumb when you say it out loud like that. Like, hey, old man, why don't you keep that jizz inside you, you stupid fuck? Anyways, so she's fine with being fingered while sitting on his lap. Not okay. Anal, and that's fine. Um, Dick, breasts, no. Jizz in face, no. Apparently does it anyways. Oh my goodness. Um Neil Gaiman apparently has no sense of hygiene. I hope you never let your kid into that jacuzzi with your fucking jizz floating around. Ah, boy. No wonder he's got brain parasites. I remember he was in that one episode of The Big Bang Theory. And I'm Neil Gaiman. You can buy my book. And Sheldon was like, "Shut up, Neil Gaiman." Oh, man. That was funny. Neil Gaiman playing a nice, wholesome Neil Gaiman. Real Neil Gaiman would be wearing his stupid fucking sunglasses, saying, "Where the bitch is at?" Oh, man. So, this next part, according to the ex nanny, said that Neil Gaiman tried to actually ass fucked her with butter. That's true. I don't know that it's not true. I know that that was a scene in Last Tango in Paris with Marlon Brando, and before he passed away or went into hiding and drank all the blood, and now he's someone else famous. Um, yeah, Marlon Brando had sexual assault allegations against him from the actress, from the French actress, co-starring with him in The Last Tango in Paris, saying that he did the butter thing on a whim and he didn't say anything. And the movie director, he was in on it. Bum, bum, bum. Monster! You monster! I don't know. I wasn't there. And I don't know. Anybody could be lying. She could be telling the truth. He could be lying, or the other way around, or both of them are fucking lying, and it's all bullshit just to fuck with society. I don't know. All right. So the ex nanny said he wanted to fuck me in the ass again, and he used butter. And he was like, "Call me master, you're my slave." And then he was like, "Suck it clean." And I was like, "No, no, that's dirty." And he's like, "Are you gonna say no to your master? What the fuck, bitch?" I'm kidding. I added that last part because there's a reason. In none of these accusations or allegations, whatever you want to call them, in none of them does it say that Neil Gaiman was intimidating or forceful or like, "Bitch, I'm talking to you. Get your fucking ass over here. I'm gonna fuck you up. How dare you say no to me?" Nothing. Nothing. Okay. So I'm going to have to guess, believe that the guy didn't use any intimidation tactics other than, "I'm a famous British guy and I have lots of money. I can make it rain." So I think the combination of, "Hey, I'm famous, my wife's famous, and I got a lot of money, so let me keep fucking you. And isn't it exciting that I'm married and you like my wife and she's cool with me fucking other women? I do this all the time. Aren't I smooth with my words? That's my job after all. Um, I make the weirdest shit seem normal. Um, I like what's it called? Bondage. Be I don't know. Bondage and domination shit. Is it S&M as well? I don't know. It didn't seem like it. Well, maybe with the degra- degrading them, because apparently the bitch went ahead and did it. She said, "I had to lick my own shit." Nah, bitch, you didn't. You didn't have to lick your own shit. Okay? First of all, you don't want to get fucked in the ass. Um, I don't care how hard Neil Gaiman's dick apparently is. He's not gonna be able to get it in your ass. You move, that thing's gonna miss. Okay? Honestly. If we can be adults about this, she's lying about that. Okay? So clearly she didn't want it, but she did it anyways. Is that sexual assault? Fuck yeah, it is. It absolutely is. This not only because of the age difference and therefore he can mentally overpower her easily. I know that to a lot of people, you're looking at it and it's like, well, is it rape? He's not holding her down, is he? He's not overpowering her. I mean, look at him. He's not like a hulking strong guy. He's a feeble son of a bitch piece of shit. I think a 15-year-old could fuck him up. Honestly. So then, it, if he's not intimidating physically, And he's not cursing them out and he's not holding weapons. It's just the fact that he's rich and famous and he can give them a lot of money easily. That's the motivation. Um, which kind of says that they're both to blame. So all these females, I don't want to insult them, but honestly, you're insulting yourselves because you were complicit. You wanted the money. You took the fucking money, all of you. You signed your NDAs. And you broke them because money, because more money. Um, all these ladies can probably sell interviews for a lot of money, can write a book, um, could go on tour talking about, the dangers of, I don't know, whatever, whoever, and whatever the fuck a handler wants to tell them. It's like, okay, this is how we're going to spin it. Never mind the facts. We're giving you a ton of money. Shut the fuck up. Just say what we want you to say. I have no idea. I think that everyone involved is fucked up. I'm glad that these people exposed the son of a bitch. I don't know that it's going to deter future victims or future stupid people that, like, oh my God, it's Neil Gaiman. I love everything you wrote. It changed my life. Please finger bang me. I do have a giant problem with the whole anal sex with butter and then lick it off. Why would you do that? Neil Gaiman might do it because he's an asshole and he's full of parasites. He can't think. He's demon possessed. But why did she fucking do that? Okay? I understand she's young and therefore stupid. Motherfucker, I was 18 once as well. If anybody, for any fucking reason, a millionaire said, here, come stay at my house. Let me fuck you in the ass. That wouldn't happen. Oh, but, she doesn't have parents. Is that even true? Does she not have parents, or she doesn't like her parents and chooses not to go over there, even though she's not going to get anally raped? Well, hopefully. I have no idea what her situation was. But fine. You've been anally fucked. And it's not rape. Okay? Let's not degrade rape, which is horrible. You're forced. You're beaten because you're fighting. That's rape. This is something else that needs to be called something else. Let's not include it with rape. Okay? I think that's the dumbest shit in the world. This is Lee. What do you call this? I know it's there is intimidation involved, even if it's not standard intimidation. But man, it's kind of hard to put it all on him when this person, is she mentally challenged? I get being young, but damn, dude. If you get fucked in the ass with butter, and then the guy says, all right, suck it, and then you lick your own shit. So that tells me something. Either she is mentally stupid, like she is suffering from a disorder of some kind that doesn't allow her to be a normal human being, or neither Neil or that ex nanny knew there was shit in there. And clearly, she had high hopes that there wasn't shit on his dick, only butter. To which she discovered there was shit on his dick and deeply regretted sucking. But she said she had to lick her own shit. So either she didn't suck his dick and she just started licking on it. And by the way, I apologize for the graphic nature of this conversation. I do not foresee this being a regular thing. Okay, I don't believe that. Yeah, this it's not something that really interests me. This is just because of what's going on with Neil and his story, which some people won't even make videos about because I was I heard one person talking about this. They made a stupid video, and she says like, "I was sickened when I read this. It made me nauseous." And well, that's because that stupid person is imagining it as though it's all fucking true. It's all gospel. Can't argue with this because, people don't lie, especially if they're women. Women never lie about stuff like this. All right, Amber Heard, but that's an exception. Other than her, no other woman would lie about this. Now, the nanny, I haven't even seen a picture of her. I don't know her, anything about her. All I know from these details is that she's fucking stupid. She's a stupid person who decided to go live with perfect strangers. Unless she's being chained there, like the allegations that Marilyn Manson was facing were actually worse. I mean, the woman was straight up saying, like, he wouldn't let me leave. He kept me naked. And by the way, all I had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner was cocaine. So I was out of my fucking mind. Right. But even there's a difference, right? Manson didn't have a bunch of people that were saying the same thing. They weren't Harvey Weinsteining his ass like they are with Neil Gaiman. So, boy, I don't know what to say there. I think Neil's a great writer. I think he's earned his success. I think he made a bunch of wrong decisions. And like I said, I'm glad that it came out. Hopefully he will change. Although I fucking doubt it. If he's anything like his buddy, Sir Alan Moore, I think he'll just become a hermit and he just won't go anywhere anymore and just live happily, with his millions of dollars. Whatever shall I do? More millions aren't coming in. No, I think he's fine. I think if that's a wrap up on his career, doesn't matter. Guy is set. You telling me that at 60 years old you couldn't live a comfortable life with millions? I mean, I guess he won't have enough money to be paying off NDAs left and right anymore. Um, but yeah, he should be fine. I don't think that he's going to be getting the work like he would before in comic books. Um, maybe eventually, you know, maybe like in 5 years, probably not even that. There'll be new stuff and nobody will even say anything anymore. Like, honestly, I think Manson started touring again. He wasn't touring for a while, and then he just did all of a sudden. And there you go. Neil Gaiman will do the exact same thing. I think my favorite uh, allegation story was against Maynard James Keenan when the whole Me Too bullshit was going down. They just started tweeting or posting shit about like, yeah, he did something. Me too. And he had the best reply. He just ignored it. He just fucking ignored it and it went away. Perfect. With Neil, boy, with Neil, because of all the fucking payoffs and NDA agreements, makes him look super guilty. Really sketchy shit. Clearly, the best answer is Maynard's answer. Ignore them. That's the best. Because later on, a group of them get together and, at least there isn't a trail of money, payoffs, NDAs. I never looked into Bill Cosby's thing that much. I just know that it was so many women saying that he was drugging them. It baffles me that whole case. How could there be a case if it happened decades and decades prior? Doesn't make any sense to me. I think even if there were fucking videos and pictures, unless on the video it says, Bill Cosby, no, don't do this. I'm drugged, clearly. You did this. I said no. And she's like, and Bill Cosby's like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care about consent. I, which, I don't believe that. I don't believe that such a video would exist. I mean, could you imagine some shit like that? Again, that's why it baffles me that he even got guilty. It's like, okay, you have this many people saying the same shit. Okay. So it's not evidence. I know that they allow it in as evidence, but come on. Who in the right mind can't believe that a lot of people can be bought? A lot of people can be part of a group and say something and lie. I think it's so stupid if that's the reason why he went down. It's like, okay, there's no fucking evidence, but we got a lot of people saying the same shit. So one person can lie. We're finally, as a society, can realize that. But if it's more than one person, then it's a fact. It's a fucking fact. That's stupid. That's ignorant and short-sighted, and I think it can't be everyone that actually believes that. Like, no. That's impossible. A lot of people would not lie about the same thing. I don't know. I don't want to defend Bill Cosby because maybe he's fucking guilty. I don't know. If he is guilty, that is fucked up, and he's a piece of shit. Straight up. But I think it's worth considering both sides. The possibility that it's a lie. And I'm not saying that it is. Bill Cosby might be guilty as shit. I don't know. But it's not out of the question. It's not unreasonable to think that maybe courts fuck up all the time because they do. So it's a possibility. I have no idea. No idea. All I can say is that if that's all their evidence, that's not definitive for me. Poor Mr. Neil Gaiman. I don't think anything will happen to him because I don't think there's any evidence. I think that it's just a matter of she said, he said, and I don't know if these things have a time, a lifespan to bring it to court. Um, I do think that it would have been more credible to bring it to court sooner or to bring it to light sooner. Um, I wonder how this even got started, how this even became a thing. They said something about a podcast putting it all together. Interesting. I wonder what motivated that podcast, who's behind that motivation. Just randomly, I felt like looking this up and doing a podcast on it. I have no idea. I don't know. Everything is sketchy and fishy and non conclusive. All right. And the final thing that I wanted to talk about. I want to make this quick because I'm tired. Oh, yeah, I'm very tired. It's about to be 10 p.m. All right. Oh, I know. Okay. I didn't finish last night. So it's January 20, Monday. And today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day or whatever. Real interesting. I had no idea that he was a Freemason. In Washington, D.C., there's a plaque with the I Have a Dream speech on it. And right at the bottom, there's the Freemason symbol. I looked it up, what degree he was, and it says actually he wasn't a Freemason. He was made an honorary Freemason after he died, posthumously. It's a funny word. What I know about the Freemasons is that you can't just apply to be one. You have to get like an invite, a recommendation, I guess. The most common way of becoming a Freemason is you have family in there that sort of just, you know, gets you in. And yeah, MLK Jr.'s father was a Freemason, and so was the grandfather. So it's pretty likely, pretty friggin' obvious that he must have been one too. It's just not part of the narrative that they want society to hear about. So it was revealed that he was after he supposedly died. I don't know. I wasn't there, but it's questionable now with the Freemason symbol in there. And if you've ever seen the Freemason symbol, it's got like one angle pointing up and another angle pointing down. The thing that's interesting about that, not just that it says that this place is a flat realm, um, but it also says something else. And Fittest Flat Earther, he missed this, but there's 3 points in the angle on the top and 3 points in the angle on the bottom. That's the 33, representing the third of heaven, who are the fallen. I was thinking about that yesterday with Eminem and Marilyn Manson. MM, which is basically a sideways 3, 33. So yeah, these people really do worship the fallen. Um, I saw a video today of Fittest Flat Earther. He says that MLK Jr., he probably became somebody else because that's what they do. And I'm sure he's right. That's probably true, but I'm not sure of his nomination for who he thinks MLK became. It's possible. Possible. You should check that out. Okay. And it's also the 47th president's inauguration today. He became the 47th president. He was the 45th president. Isn't that interesting how 4-5, that's 9, and what is it, 4-7, that's 11. 9/11, there you go. Check out Revelations 9/11. See what that says. Abaddon King. Don King. Oh, shit. That's true. Never mind. All right. And finally, I can wrap up this one episode. David Lynch died. I haven't looked at the date because David Lynch, I loved his movies. They were so dark and mysterious. They left you with more questions than answers. He never pointed you in the right direction whatsoever. It was just a vacation from thinking. But his stuff was really satanic dark and had a ton of Freemason shit in there, which leads me to believe that, of course, he was a part of the club. He never looked weak. And yeah, he was constantly smoking, but he never looked sick whatsoever. Loved his hair, how he wore it up all the time. I used to buy his movies, and I'd see the stuff he would add in the special features. One of them, I'm not sure if it was Mulholland Drive or Inland Empire, had a video of him showing you how to make quinoa, and I love this stuff, especially with butter, Irish butter. There's so many movies that he made. I think I've seen them all. I'm not sure if I've seen his college stuff, his shorts, but I've seen a lot of them. I liked his photography. I liked his music. I liked his artwork, his illustrations, his paintings. I liked how in his movies he really didn't give a fuck about trying to be realistic. It was more about trying to invoke a feeling. So that even the acting may have seemed a little off from his actors, but I think it was all done on purpose because it all contributed to the feeling of uneasiness. I love seeing that he had more several layers to his personality. You know, on one hand, he could be so cheerful, so look on the bright side of life kind of a person, you know, saying that something is just it's beautiful, it's so beautiful, and the way he would move his hands and the way he would speak. While on the other hand, you know, he could also get upset. I remember, I think it was 10 years ago, I saw this clip of him doing a sort of well, I think somebody else took an interview and put it into like an advertisement for iPhone. But in this interview, he was saying that, you know, if you watch a movie on your iPhone, you'll think you've seen it, but you haven't. You've been cheated. And it's true. I think that if you see a movie on your phone, it is nowhere near comparison to seeing it on the big screen in the theater. The level of enjoyment you'll get from watching it at home to compared to watching it in a theater is not the same. You might think it's the same, but it's obviously not if you really think about it. So then, of course, the same applies to watching it in a much, much smaller screen the size of your palm. I saw the documentary The Art Life when it came out, and he had remarried. I know that he already had an adult daughter that became a movie director. I saw that one movie with Bill Pullman. I can't remember its name, but they play like psychos. um, that movie was okay. It was entertaining. I haven't seen What's Up with Her, so I saw that one movie. I'm sure she's made something else since. And then he had another daughter in a new marriage. The child was in the documentary The Art Life. Um, boy, I'm not treating it like he's actually dead, because the fact is that a lot of celebrities fake their deaths. Why the fuck would he fake his death, right? Um, I don't know. Unless he was told to, you know, like, hey, it's time. I don't know how the Club of Secrets works. I just know that they're satanic and they like to fuck with society. So it's possible. I've seen a video of what Ariana Grande used to look like, human, and what she looks like now. Ugh, damn, that's not a human being. But you believe it's the same person, right? You can look at a picture of what she looked like before and now, and you still believe that's the same person. So if a great change like that, if a change that big is possible, you know, how could they not be able to just adopt a new identity? You know that the Masons, they control the country. They have their symbols all over money. And the stupidest fucking explanation given to society is that, yeah, the guy that designed it, he was really into that. Go fuck yourself. Now, if you don't know, you'll accept that answer. But once you realize that, wait, but the Freemasons have never not been around. There was this great video by Mind Unveiled on YouTube showing how there used to be another political party called the Anti-Freemasons. I mean, damn, I would have loved to have been around when that party was active. But like that Freemason Albert Pike quote says, we supply the people with heroes to believe in. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what it says. Uh, that means, the heroes that we celebrate the most, like MLK, they might just be Freemasons. You know, they use the checkered board, a black and white checkered board, a lot as one of their main symbols to represent duality, and it's a duality that they play both sides. They're not just the Democrats; they're the Republicans too. The left wing and the right wing connect to the same animal. So they present the problem and the solution, which is why when anybody has a different solution to the problem, it gets completely ignored because it's not part of their game. I don't know. Here's the thing, you have to kind of believe in the Bible. So if you believe in the Bible, picture this. There are demonic angels that are destined to go to hell or the abyss or just be destroyed, whatever. And the main creator, God, he's putting us through a challenge, through a test to see which one of us, which ones are actually on his team and which ones aren't. And like the book of Job presented, we're going to be tested. And they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want as long as they don't kill us. They have to respect the main rule, which is free will. But there's no clauses, there's no stipulations. It's just it's a free for all basically, as long as they don't kill us and they allow us to choose. And we don't see this because if you can for a moment consider that they're real and that this is what's going on, think about what they wouldn't do to get as many people to go down with them, to suffer because they hate people, humans. Now, I've heard some people say that they don't believe in the Gnostic Bible because they think that it makes God a villain. But I think those people might not have read the Gnostic Bible or researched it enough. Because in the Gnostic books, there is a good God, a good creator. His name is Monad. I don't think that's his actual name, but that's what he's called. The reason why I think that there's credibility in the Gnostic Bible is that it makes the Bible make perfect sense. Everything that didn't make sense makes sense now. And if you think that, well, maybe it's a lie, then maybe the Bible is as well. So I don't want to go to that extreme, but we do know that there are some books that were removed, books that had important information, like the Book of Enoch, which is referenced by Paul the Apostle in the Bible. So that gives that book credence, validity, canon, um, where it states that a third of heaven, 200 fallen angels, referred to as the Watchers. If that stuff is true, what wouldn't they do now to get us to surrender um, our birthright, our our souls, our positive energy or positive light, whatever you want to call it? I'm pretty sure that most demons, well, I mean, okay, if the rules weren't respect free will and don't kill them, then most demons probably would just grab people and say, like, you know, W love the devil or I'll kill you. No. And then they start killing them. But they're not doing that because that's against the rules. Instead, we have television, which, by the way, I just realized that most televisions are black mirrors. If you turn off your television, can you see your own reflection in it? Yeah, that's a black mirror. Black mirrors are famous for being used in witchcraft to conjure demons. So, ta-da! This is, I think, the reason why a long time ago a lot of people would put a drape or something to cover up the television at night. We don't do that anymore because the things in charge of this world, the fallen, have successfully indoctrinated minds into believing that that stuff is nonsense. Of course, that's not true. Only what they tell you in school is true, and it is coming from them. Well, regardless of whether David Lynch is still alive in a different life or a different form, um, we're not going to get to see him in this life anymore. And if he does come back, he still won't be coming back as David Lynch Part 2. Or maybe he will, but it still won't be David Lynch. I'm pretty sure that even if they come back with their special masks, as you can see in the Sistine Chapel, when God and Adam are uniting, they're touching, or they're about to touch. There's a friggin' guy with a beard right near, close below to God's image, holding a skin suit. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this has been going on for a while now. Of course, they wouldn't tell us, right? Now, here's what I'm speculating. Skin can be used in so many ways. Leather, right? Leather gets used to make hats, jackets, shoes. I mean, everything you can think of. How impossible would it be to take skin and make a mask out of that? Now, I don't mean Leatherface style. I mean, like, actually trying to pass it off as being still alive. I think you might have to hook up some sort of a moisturizing device to it, or something like that. I think that to make that we have the technology. I mean, if we can make microchips that are insanely badass, I don't think that it would be impossible to make a mask out of flesh and keep it pumping full of moisture, maybe blood. I don't know, and sort of just get away with that. I think it's possible. I think that it's just not being revealed to the public. But obviously, if you've seen what CIA has been doing for the last 70 years, and what $1,000 um, mask looks like, you can just imagine what $1 million mask might look like. More than likely, the parts are being made in separate factories so that people have no idea exactly what it's for. And then all the parts get put together, and only a select few people know how to put it all together. That's probably how they're doing it. I have no idea. And then there's the other thing. What if they're like vampires, reptilian vampire demons, where they let themselves age out, then they get told by their superior it's time, and they have their little blood orgy and they rejuvenate and they become somebody else. I have no friggin' idea, but nothing is off the table. Anyways, I loved David Lynch's movies, but they were pretty dark. Dune was supposed to be his worst movie, but even that one has a lot of merit. It's worth watching. It's not the new Dune, but I enjoyed it. And the Straight Story, I love the Straight Story. The Straight Story is probably, besides Mulholland Drive, Twin Peaks, Wild at Heart, one of my favorite movies by David Lynch, because it didn't feel like a David Lynch movie. Not really. Um, the main actor was actually um, dying of cancer. He had terminal cancer, and he didn't tell David Lynch. And he was playing a real life character, real life man that dies of terminal cancer. Um, and he's trying to sort of get close to his estranged brother again, but he doesn't have a car or enough money to get there, and he ends up driving his lawnmower to see his brother before he dies. Such a great movie. Loved it. It seems silly, but the performances are amazing. It's just a great movie. It's I think it might be his best movie because I can watch that with everyone. Mulholland Drive has a lot of sex scenes and has one really strange scene I've never seen in a movie. Um, one of the actresses has her pubic area blurred out. I don't know why. I mean, maybe you could see her vagina, but I mean, so what? So yeah, that was a little weird. But I don't know how many times I've seen that movie, Mulholland Drive. It always feels like now I get what's going on, and then it completely flips, and I'm lost again. I love that. That's so brilliant. So he wrote a linear story that all sort of it's like this big giant mystery gets solved in one scene, and he removes that scene. It's perfect. I think he did the same thing with Inland Empire, but then he kind of gave it away in the special features. I think there was a the deleted scene that made everything connect was in there. And of course it's simple. It's not a hard story to understand, but without that one scene that makes everything connect together, you're lost. And it forces you to sort of believe that maybe if you see it again, you might catch what you missed. I don't think he worked with that many famous actors. Um, Maybe they weren't willing to put up with his style of directing. He did, though, work with Nicolas Cage with Wild at Heart, and that is such an awesome movie. It's if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, you'll love Wild at Heart. For the longest time, I didn't understand Eraserhead whatsoever. It was just the creepiest friggin' thing ever. But it is, I don't know. He's got a style similar, kind of similar to Tim Burton. Tim Burton's really changed since early Tim Burton, but David Lynch never changed. Like I said, he has his actors act in unnatural ways, and I love that because it just sets a tone, that's so unique to these movies. Whereas most movies, the actors are constantly trying to be real, be realistic when they know it's all bullshit. Acting in this way, it really singles out the film for for anyone who's watching it because it's not typical. So I think maybe I've seen this in Lloyd Kaufman's trauma movies, the ones he directs, and I love that. I appreciate that. It seems so much easier and simplistic style of acting, but it really goes a long way for being something special instead of, a cookie cutter of everything else. I remember when I first saw Blue Velvet, I was a teenager and I actually wrote down scenes. I don't know why. I had too much time on my hands, I guess. I would write down the scene. I think the first couple of scenes with Dennis Hopper. Who was he? Was he Frank? Yeah. Like, shut up. It's Daddy, you shithead. Where's my fucking bourbon? Um, I even knew the lyrics to A Candy Colored Clown, and I love that one. Lost Highway was another really creepy one. Patricia Arquette was gorgeous, and the film didn't really make sense. He's a mutant who has dual lives because he can change. Maybe it does make sense. Reptilian shapeshifters, maybe. I don't know. You have to watch it. Let me know what you think. Oh, man. After Inland Empire, I couldn't wait for the next film, and it just didn't happen. And then all of a sudden, like a miracle, it was an entire season, a brand new season of Twin Peaks: The Return. I think it was 10 or 12 episodes. Each episode was like 40 minutes or an hour. Even Trent Reznor made an appearance. Yeah, they worked together on a music video for Came Back Haunted. The Twin Peaks, the return. When did that show come out? Might have been in 2016, 2016, 2015. I'm not sure, but every episode was just amazing. I loved it. So with that season, I mean, we actually do have a lot to look at. I mean, David Lynch directed a few episodes for the original Twin Peaks show, but he directed every episode for the return. And it was amazing. It was a work of art. I mean, I've honestly been wanting to rewatch it again, but I have to show it to someone. That's my thing. I don't like seeing something more than once unless I can show it to someone. Then I have an excuse. I have an excuse to see if that person thinks or feels the same way I do, so we can have a nice, enjoyable conversation. Although usually I end up showing it to the wrong people and they just say, like, I liked it. uh, One day I'll get to have intellectual friends. All right, that's enough for one episode. Until then, take care. Later.